All right, we are going to finish this unit circle with what I started in the lesson from the day before. You might want to watch this before you take that quiz and finish this. All right, so I can complete this circle if I just know these three ordered pairs here. Remember from the other day, your cosine is your x, your sine is your y. And these three ordered pairs I can move to each of the quadrants because any 30, 60, 90, or any angle that's 30 degrees away from the x-axis, like this one right here, this triangle here is the same as this triangle. So I can use this ordered pair, knowing one simple thing, that everything in quadrant 4, the x is positive and the y is negative. So I can take this ordered pair, put it down here, because they're both 30 degrees away from the x-axis, just change my y to a negative. And then this is also 30 degrees away from the x-axis. So I can use this same exact ordered pair. Again, remember, cosine, sine. So I take this ordered pair, put it over here because it's the same distance to the x-axis, but both of these are going to be negative. So negative square root of 3 over 2, negative 1/2 cosine sine. And we'll fill in the degrees and the radians in a minute. So those angles that are closest to the x-axis are now done. Now let's go to the one right in the middle of the quadrant. So I look at this one right here. It's right in the middle of the quadrant. So the one here, right in the middle, I'm going to use this ordered pair, but I'm going to keep the x positive and the y I'm going to change to negative. Same ordered pair. Just change the sign of the y. In quadrant 3, the one right in the middle, that's 45 degrees away from the x-axis. So is this one, 45 degrees away. I can use the same ordered pair, but this time they're both negative. And I'm going to label that cosine sine because that'll help me answer some questions probably on the quiz. That'll help. All right, so I got the ones right in the middle. They're all taken care of. Notice all of them have this ordered pair. It's just the sign in front is different. All right, now the one farthest away from the x-axis, 60 degrees. This one right here is 60 degrees away from the x-axis, right here, 60 degrees. Notice these are very similar, except in quadrant 2, the x is negative, the y is positive. In quadrant 3, they're both negative. So I take this ordered pair and I put it down here and I change both the x and the y to negative. Cosine sine. And then this one here is 60 degrees. It's the farthest one away. It's 60 degrees. So I take this ordered pair that's also 60 degrees away. And I write down the x is positive, but the y is negative. Cosine sine. And then if I can just fill in the degrees and the radians, I've got everything I need. I need these two also. There's ordered pairs here. But we'll go back and do those. So let's start with the degrees. Remember, you can always go multiples of 30. 30 times 1, 30 times 2, 30 times 3, 30 times 4. Skip the ones in the middle. Those are multiples of 45. 30 times 5, 30 times 6, 30 times 7. 210 degrees. Skip the one in the middle because that's a 45. 30 times 8. 30 times 9. 30 times 10. Skip the one in the middle. 30 times 11. 30 times 12. All right, the only ones that are left are the ones in the middle. Those are multiples of 45. 45 times 1, times 2, times 3, times 4, times 5, or just add 45 onto that because it's 45 degrees away. 225. Another 45 would get me there. Another 45 would get me in the middle. That would give me 315, because if you add 45 onto 270, you get 315. Plus 45 are right back there. Radians, 0. I look at these multiples of pi over 6. Any 30-degree angle or multiple of 30 is a multiple of pi over 6. 1 pi over 6, 2 pi over 6, 3 pi over 6, 4 pi over 6 reduces, 5 pi over 6, 6 pi over 6, 7 pi over 6, 8 pi over 6 reduces to 4 pi over 3, 9 pi over 6 reduces to 3 pi over 2, 10 pi over 6, 11 pi over 6, and the only ones that are missing now are the ones in the middle. Those are just multiples of pi over 4. 1 pi over 4, 2 pi over 4, 3 pi over 4, 4 pi over 4, 5 pi over 4, 6 pi over 4, 7 pi over 4, and then 8 pi over 4, which reduces to 2 pi. The only thing that's left are these not in quadrants. And remember, in a unit circle, radius equals 1. That's important. Radius is 1. So to get to this point, I go 1 unit to the right, up 0. 1 unit, or 0 units to the right, up 1. This is 1 unit to the left, which is a -1. And again, I'm going to label that cosine sine. So if I asked you something like the cosine of pi, -1 is already labeled. This one is 0, -1. Right? If you have this unit circle complete, you can answer any question like, what is the sine of 2 pi over 3? Square root 3 over 2. What's the cosine of 225 degrees? Here's 225 cosine. Oh, look, it's labeled. Negative square root 2 over 2. What's the sine of 270? Here's 270. Sine. Oh, I forgot to label this. Cosine sine. Sine is -1. All right. This will definitely help you on the quiz. Again, if you have any trouble converting or not knowing these radians, all you got to do is take these degrees and multiply by pi over 180, and it'll change any degree to a radian. Times pi over 180 times pi over 180. All right? Might want to study this so you can do well on your quiz. Good luck. Quiz tomorrow.